Hi there, Mark the Torbay Lure Angler. I thought I'd show you how I make little wire traces for perch and pike. Obviously when the perch aren't biting and the little jacks come on, we want to protect the fish. So let's go through what I actually use. So all this stuff here I get from AMG Discount Tackle. I'm not affiliated with them, I just buy them. I find them really, really good. Cheap prices are good, and it normally comes within a couple of days. So these are little crimps here. I'm not sure the exact size. 0.8mm crimps, AGM products, 50 pieces there for not a lot of money. I also use these as well. Oval, black, flat profile anti-glare rig rings, 4.5mm. Duo lock snap AC. These are 10 pieces, size EU. All these things are available on their website. I will put a link up. Like I say, I'm not affiliated, and this is the trace I prefer. It does say knottable, but I don't knot it. This is called Not Too Kinky. This is in the £18 range. So this is the terminal tackle I use, and what I actually use to make these are a pair of crimps, a pair of cutters, a pair of pliers just in case I need them, and a little bit of heat shrink tape, and of course I need a lighter as well to melt the heat shrink tape. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this now. So the first thing I do is get a bit Not Too Kinky. This is a nickel titanium leader wire, and I get a piece. So I'm not really fishing for jacks, I'm normally targeting perch. So this is a 6-inch ruler. So I'll kind of cut off around about 8 or 9 inches just by using a pair of clippers like so. And then I'll get that ready. What I won't do is bore you with the details of me cutting another load off, because I normally make these in batches. So I've cut off my 5 pieces of wire, and I'm also going to just make one to show you how to do one. So this is my crimp, so I've got 2 of those ready. My flat rings, I've got 1 of those ready. Lure clip, I've got 1 of those ready, and this is a bit of heat shrink tube, and I can't remember the exact size, probably about 1mm in diameter, and I've cut 2 pieces. So I've got my leader wire in my hand. The first thing I'm going to do is take a crimp, pass him through the leader wire like so, and just like stop him going down with your fingers there. Okay, this is very, very sharp and very, very pointy, so be careful of that. That's why we use the heat shrink later on. Then I'm going to get my flat oval ring, place him through there like so, and then I'm going to double back, i.e. go through the crimp again by folding it over. Which is a bit tricky to do down the camera, so there we go. And then pinch him at the end like so and push it up, and I hold it down the bottom and slide him up. Sometimes if you want, it's quite useful to hold that end with a pair of pliers to stop it coming through. So I've got my flat ring double back through there and gone through a crimp. Then with your crimping pliers, and I have used other pliers, but crimping pliers are the best in my opinion. Just crimp that nice and tight, 1, normally twice, and make sure it's nice and flat. You don't have to crimp the hell out of it, just enough to hold it. Now what you've got there is a nasty piece sticking out there, okay? So what I do is I get my cutters and I just take it back, not all the way, but just back. I hold on to this as well because it will fly off and it could land up on the floor in the cat's foot, or in my foot if I'm barefoot. I'm doing this at my kitchen table at the moment. So that's practically the first half of this one done. So we've got our pre-made part on the end here. So what I do now is I grab the other end and just put a little tiny flick in it like so, just to put a little bit of a bend in the wire. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on 1 piece of heat shrink. You'll see why in a sec. Maybe I should have dropped this at the other end as well. Second piece of heat shrink. Obviously I've cut this off with the clippers. A crimp. Just bear with me, it's a little bit tricky to see when I'm looking down the camera. There we go, I got that through there. And then my lure clip. I prefer these lure clips, but you can use whichever ones you want. I'm going to go and bend that over the top, so it's quite springy as you can see. Bend him over the top, feed that through that crimp once more until it comes out the other end like so. And once again I'm going to pull him up and hold him. I'm going to get my pliers to hold that end like so. So with my crimping pliers, I'll see if I can get this a bit clearer for you. I'm just going to make 2 crimps near the top. I'm doing this left-handed to make it a little bit tricky for myself. Nice strong crimp, and a second one, another nice strong crimp there. And now we've got that flattened on there. What I like to do is I just grab both ends and I just give them a little pull just to make sure that nothing's going to slip, and that's holding that nicely. I then will take this end off here again, as I did just a second ago. So I'm going to grab that there, grab my pliers and make a little cut there. And I'm safely going to put that to one side with the other one. I'm then going to slide up my heat shrink tape till it's just over that end. Hopefully you can see that. And also covering the end where we could potentially spike ourselves. Now there's a couple of ways of doing this. What I generally do is I just hold it, get my lighter, and it's literally just a couple of seconds like so. Flick it round, do exactly the same thing on the other side. Flick them up to the end like so. Light your heat shrink tape. Literally it's going to take a second like that. And there you go. That is how to make a small pike or perch trace. Generally use these on my BFF setups. Like I say, if I'm fishing for perch using nylon, I normally use around about 6 to 8 pound. If I find I'm getting jacks, I'll put this on as well. And again, this kind of length here, let's measure this length. I think it's going to be around about 6-7 inches, something like that. Yeah, so it's going to be about 8 inches. Realistically, I've never had a big pike on BFS gear. I've only had like jacks and probably up to like 6-7 pound, and this is far enough for them to take it down into their throat with a lure on the end on this end, and you still got this by the teeth, so there's no need to put on 2 foot. If you're going to go big heavy pike, and obviously you can get some bigger lures. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, drop me a sub. Thank you very much for watching. Mark, Torbay Lure Angler.